All right, look, check it out. I'm gonna keep this super simple. There's been some stuff I've been working on. I want to share it. I know you get stuff to do. Rock with me real quick. Just take it from the top. All right, so check it out. Version .19 for my video game.
It's called Hyper Vyper. You can wishlist it on Steam via the link in the the details tab.
Uh, and one of the major features in this version of the game is that there is now a hub. And there's like dudes you shoot in the face too. Just like get warmed up, you know what I mean? Kick one in his gullet. Hold on. Yeah, so this is kind of like a chill little area where you can run around, and it's gonna get more expansive with future updates. But there's 19 things in this one, so we're gonna keep it to not less than 20. Yeah, for now, just like a chill place to run around, mess with movement, shoot things. I'll fix the fact that these dudes go away if you get too far away. Don't worry. But high level, you might have noticed there's like a currency next to coins. The intent there is it's like an account resource. So it's like meta progression. Like you'll get it from the raids, which I'll show you in a second, based on how you do. And you'll be able to spend that on things like new guns, new abilities, like making someone happy. Like, yeah, this could get, I'm not sure how big or small like the hub thing is going to get. Uh, but, you know, a simple version is you just come in here and you spend your shit and you buy new shit. I think like the really cool version would be like you could have people come back here, or like part of what you're looking for during a run is like, you know what I mean, like a quest NPC or something, or like helping someone in distress because they might become your homie and come back here and like do a bunch of stuff for you, and like not for nothing give you someone to hang out with because it's hella lonely out here in the vacuum of space with just a bunch of boxes, some targets, and a train. But yeah, so I've really kind of, the loop is starting to make sense to me, and that's something that's never really been the case. Um, I feel like it's been like validated a little bit just from playing by myself here in the last like week or so too. Like I can just like kind of see it and I can kind of feel it, and it just feels like I've been like grasping in the dark for like a long time because initially the game was supposed to be like a survivors like kind of thing, you know, just like do the Mega Bonk thing, but you know, it's a shooter also. So Vampire Survivors becomes a 3D game with slick movement called Mega Bonk, and then inspired by that, slick movement but like a shooter, you know. Um, but the survivor version of this game was like not fun at all because running for your life in an action game is like not the vibe. So yeah, I think there's like compelling stuff to make you want to kill things and explore things and do stuff that's fun now, as long as like the unlocks feel meaningful. But like shit, even if they don't, like even if they're just like dog shit, like there's so many games that just have like dog shit unlocks, and it's about having a carrot in some cases. So hoping to go like a little bit beyond that, but feels like there is a meaningful carrot at this point, or at least there will be when it's all kind of like working. As you can see, like I just didn't feel like gouging my eyes out today, so I'm not like touching any widgets. But I have been working on some player powers, and if it's okay with you, I'm gonna go ahead and show you those real quick. All right, so this is the raid. The clock is still ticking up right now, but future versions you're gonna have 10 minutes, and if you can survive for 10 minutes, it'll pull you out, and that run is gonna be a success. You'll keep all the experience you gained as the account resource, which I'm just kind of calling souls for now because, yeah, anyway. Yeah, so initially it's going to be, I'll get to the map in a second. Sorry, we were talking about player powers. All right, player powers. So I want to do away with all the like nerdy, you know, like, oh, +1 damage, and oh, this does 40% damage, oh, your move speed is faster. Like I want there to be like no stat sticks in the game. It looks like try it and see if it works, right? Like just that feels like more fun to me. And yeah, sorry, I've been working on stuff to that end. Crowd is just getting huge. But yeah, I think the game is more interesting if it is kind of these effects that you're, as the player, trying to combine, and they're like meaningfully changing how you play or how you like want to play. Because if you just get like plus damage, like not only is it, you know, just a number going up, which is kind of not very satisfying. Like, it doesn't meaningfully change anything you're doing. Like, you're gonna still run around and shoot. You're gonna still, you know, like, you're just not doing anything different. Everything you're doing is just better. So the intent is for there to be a bunch of things that are all in some way changing what you kind of, how you approach things. And like sometimes it's like not so radical, but you know, like let's see, I don't even know what I have right now because I'm just like, I haven't hooked that up yet, but I have like Chain Lightning and Pierce and like a bunch of like on-hit stuff. And you know what, fuck it, we'll get homing missiles too, hell yeah. So, my character now is kind of like super geared up to just be like a crazy on-hit duder. Like his shots go through people and he does on-hit stuff, so check this out. A bunch of people die. Just like thin the herd super quick. And like obviously it's like an endgame thing. Like you're not gonna just like get these things right out of the gate like I have, because these are all there are, because I've been working on them. Mind your own business. But the idea is like to give you things that are interesting to think about and would kind of just like change how you play. So like I would love to just go places where I can line up dudes and just try to get as many hits as I can. So somewhere on the map like this little saucy number over here, which is kind of like, this is like the V-1 version of it, but it's like a city. And it's going to be like claustrophobic, it's going to be almost like maze-like. The challenge is going to be in like navigating these tight spaces, and like being able to survive in situations where like you might get like overwhelmed. And so there's kind of reasons like you would choose to come here over another place, just because like there's also going to be objectives in each of the zones. But there's also like gameplay reasons to come here that like if you have a build similar to mine, like you'd be really tempted to come to a place where it gets really easy to hit a bunch of people in a straight line and just, you know, abuse what is strong about your character. But yeah, they don't have to be as, they're not all intended to be like as crazy as that too, because we need like commons, and there are other ways to like change the way that you're playing that like all like kind of modify each other in interesting ways, I think also. So kind of hard to see, but with that last level up, I picked a power that my heat gauge, which is this thing next to the crosshairs that goes up as I shoot. From now on, whenever I deal damage, whatever percent that is at becomes a multiplier. So if this heat gauge is half full, my damage is 150%. If it's like 90, I'm just doing like almost double damage. And so like part of the strategy, if you were going like something that was really based on that, would be like, you know, just trying to stay topped up as high as you can on heat without like going over. And it's a little bit like risk reward, because if you do overheat, you can't do a damn thing for a little bit besides kick people. Oh yeah. And so like that's just like, it's like super simple. It didn't take much at all to look it up, but it's like an interesting possibility, because if I want to go like a build that's like, you know, here, let's see if I get lucky. Oh shit, no, bring me to the fucking, I don't want to do this shit. Bring me to a place where there's fun. Let me have fun. Alright, let's see if I get lucky. So there's another power I haven't talked about yet. It's called Wide Shot, and what it does is it makes your range like much less, but you kind of shoot in like a cone. Here, you know what? Fucking, I swear I develop games. I know how this stuff works. Alright, yeah. So right now I go wide shot. It's no big deal. Bing, 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 bing. You kind of see where this is going, right? Like, this should go a little crazy with Pierce. Or when you have the hot boy / girl power up, like, your cone is doing just wild damage. But like, don't overheat. But then like, you know, some of like the less sexy upgrades become like your like heat goes up faster or your heat goes up slower, and actually you probably want like both of those if you're trying to get like this kind of gameplay, because it'll just like it'll be easier to sit at like a sweet spot. Uh, anyway, like super digressing, right? But like that's kind of like the vision I'm having with like what makes leveling up compelling and the choices compelling and player powers compelling. And then you add in things like we have a bunch of weapons. I kind of have them shelved because there's a bunch of game that needed to be validated, including like the feel for the like core weapon, which is this thing here, assault rifle. Before like digging into them, but like it's almost time for them to come online too, as like part of all this other stuff. And so like what, you know, a shotgun with split shot, how does that shit work? Like just have like a melee build at that point. You're gonna like blast anything, but your shot doesn't like go far at all, you know what I mean? Like, and kind of from there, I think it's like, I think we get to like the actual like meat and potatoes of it, because I don't want the game to just be like a bullet hell game where you're stacking like on hit stuff, or you know, it's all about just like blowing up crowds. Like obviously that's awesome, that's a huge part of the game, but I want there to be like other ways to play. So you know, in the case of, I just think, I don't even know if I want to like talk about this yet, kind of thing, because I can just like get myself in trouble, or just like sounds ridiculous. But like I really like MOBA. I really like the idea of kits. I really like deck builder, and I really like the idea of combining things to make kits, and just like finding, you know, the busted like combinations. Like that's, you know, that's also roguelike in so many ways, and that's super important also for a dev like me who has to really, I can't have like throwaway content, dude. Like if everything is going to be to the level that I want, like there has to be stuff that is good for like the whole game, essentially. Like the sandbox needs to get more compelling globally as more pieces get added to it. And so just being able to like select stuff, and you wouldn't even like want this necessarily, but you have to make a choice. And suddenly it gets like interesting to think about how this like thing that seems like just a dog shit ass power, like, you know, how can you break the game with it? Or how can you just like survive to the next thing? Like, yeah, so to that end, there's like a few kind of gameplay targets that I'm not really going to get into right now, because I'm just going to do that fucking classic dev thing. I'm just like, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. It's going to be this, this, and that. And it's just, you know, may or may not get there. But I just want you all to know that, like, I see it. I feel it. I'm finna get there. I want y'all to come with me, please. Oh, by the way, this is like a crazy bug is happening. So the on-hit stuff, it just triggers from damage. Like it doesn't check yet to see if it's like a gun. I can easily hook that up. It's just like a tag. I haven't because this is fun. But eventually, like that can be a power. You know what I mean? Like check it out, check it out, check it out. Like all this stuff is only supposed to work on gun damage, but then like one of these powers becomes like all your on-hit damage can trigger from like any other source of damage. So like when you run up and kick someone in the face, hiya! There's your chain lightning right there, and shit, it takes away the cooldown for all the procs too, so you just got like the chain fucking explosion effect maybe? Like, I don't know, that might be a video game. Bing, 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 bing. Yeah, so anyway, that's player powers. Sorry, I definitely digress like hella right there, but I've been like, I've been like fiending to talk about this, and like my wife is so sick of hearing all this shit, dude. Like she doesn't even play games. She's just like, yeah, that's sick. So I'm just talking at y'all instead, and I appreciate you being here. So that's philosophy for player powers. We're gonna see how many of them actually make it into the next build. Still some design work to do there. And hey, by the way, I'm really hoping to have something that can at least be like available via like playtest requests, like maybe not like a public demo, but people that aren't, you know, friends and family playing the game. And just something like you can opt into. We'll just let like a percent of people in. I would like to have that in like a week or two. So, yeah, there's like a lot of infrastructure and a lot of like easily connected dots. So I think we can get there, even though it's like aggressive. But I'm really just like, I don't know, things are changing in my life soon. So I'm kind of just like pounding towards a something that can be like playable And it's also just, you know, there's been a lot of infrastructure, and I think the game is starting to hit like a critical mass. Um, and so I'm hoping that, you know, there's just like a big. But I mean, things have kind of gotten like a little bit more ambitious. That's all good. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about the map real quick, and then I'm just gonna like fuck off. I'm gonna let you get out of here. Uh, so high level intent with the map, and this is like version, you know, this is an early version. Oh yeah, also I've been working on the post-process filter, basically like how the game looks, as you can kind of see like lines getting drawn in and out. Um, that's kind of all like stretch goal stuff. I have like a lot more locally that isn't ready for people to see yet, but not skimping on the visuals at least. Trying not to. So probably do like a video about just art direction. But did want to mention it in case it's kind of like, wait, this looks different, or what's up with those lines, or yeah, the map. Okay, so every area designed kind of with like a keyword or like a gameplay target. And I talked about that in the last video when we talked about this guy over here. So each area is going to have an objective, and when you do the objective, you're going to get like wondrous thing. And the high level goal of the game ultimately is to be able to complete all 5 objectives in one run. At least like for early access, that's like the vertical slice I would like to have. Like that's my target. Survive for 10 minutes, you've won a run. New game plus. Be able to finish all the zones. Or just like, you know, there'll be a set of things you have to do within that 10 minutes. And so this zone has been designed to kind of be like easy to get into, but hard to get out of. And so if you're like running for your life, or you just need like some space really quick, you can kind of just like jump down here. And like the objective is going to be down there. It's going to be super visible from the get-go. So if you kind of want to just like get to it, you can. But the challenge becomes like getting out, or you know, like it's a risk reward. You're putting yourself in a dangerous situation. You're taking the low ground, which is easy to do, and you're incentivized to do it. But you're gonna have to pay the piper eventually. And I'm kind of hoping as part of like the like 10-minute run format, like what you're thinking about as a player is like how you approach these zones, because you know you're gonna gravitate towards some anyway, just because that's the kind of gameplay like you personally enjoy, or like you like the aesthetic or something like. And then there's gonna be, you know, like there's gameplay reasons, like you got a power that works better in one area over another, or you just like, so the game also scales, right? Like it gets harder. It's not gonna just stay simple. Like over the course of 10 minutes, you might see when I'm just like in here fucking around, but over the course of 10 minutes, like there are more and more enemies, they're different types, they're stronger. So you might want to just like, if this is meant to be like the risk reward zone, you might want to just like front load that risk. But there might also be like reasons to like backload that risk as well. You feel me? So kind of just hoping to get like genuine, different feeling like vistas, and like super double down on like the space itself by making that part of like why you would be there in the first place. So yeah, you're gonna have to hold the low ground successfully, and if you do that, you'll win the zone and you're gonna get something sexy. And if you do that everywhere, good things happen. Alright, so next zone. It's kind of like, I think of this as like the parking lot. And like sightlines, I guess, is like part of the key verbs here. But like also, so I think part of the philosophy I'm designing the map with is like, it's like a skating game. Like I almost put in the tags for Steam, like the genre is skating, because like I want the philosophy to be like skate park. Like that's like one of the driving tenets, so that you know, there's like shit to do with like the movement and like it's not really like robust yet. Like, sure, there's you know, kind of some jumps and whatever, but yeah, eventually I want, you know, you'd be able to just like go off of jumps or do like shortcuts or like navigate spaces really quickly, but there'll also be like environmental hazards, so like, you know, don't fuck it up or you're gonna go in a wall of fire. So having the design with like gameplay in mind, with part of that being supporting like movement, I feel like that's made it more like challenging, but you know something? There's like a ton of ways that that's made it actually like fucking click for me, and this shit was like big hard at the beginning in so many ways. Like, I don't know, having like something to head towards. It was a big unlock. Cause like, yeah, I don't know, like what, you know, a big challenge I found actually, like making a game by yourself is where you're putting down stakes to make things like not like arbitrary. You know what I mean? So just like planning. So, like, why would you do anything? You know, like I explained like why there's like movement like there is in the game. So like it has like a cascading effect of the enemies, the powers, the levels, like they have to support that. But then the question gets to be like how? And rather than approaching it like a multiplayer shooter, like I kind of was at the beginning, and like also architecture, which like they both had their place. They were super good learnings. Like there's part of that DNA, like for sure in the game. But when it was like, let's make a skate park, I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's easy to make that shit fun. You know, like, I don't know, not like easy, but it was a target, and it made a lot of things click. So this area is a part of that, but the kind of central thing is sightlines, and also like being able to navigate the space effectively when your path might be interrupted. I think there probably needs to be like some iteration here, because it's not. I think there needs to be like more pillars. They need to be like thicker, so that's like a greater challenge than we currently have. It's actually pretty easy to just like weave through here and not be like affected by that. Yeah, that's kind of the idea with this one. Like sightlines, like half pipe, and I'm trying to like low-key get some environmental storytelling going. It's like not really a thing completely yet, but it's part of the map. I want to have like, obviously like it should be like a real place. It should work for video games. It doesn't have to be a real place. It should feel like a real place. And so when you're going towards the city, there should be like little city bits that kind of clue you into the fact that you're heading towards the city. And same with this, like we see there's, you know, like those pillars that aren't like exactly part of the zone, but they're kind of like cluing you into like where you're going and like what's going on there. But like from an aesthetic standpoint, I want this to, this is like the metropolis, and this is almost like a ruins kinda. And so it'll like kinda start to decay until it just like completely falls off into these like ruins, and it's hopefully gonna feel like a like once grand place that is now like just, you know, derelict. And then if you can make it to the back like where I just was and get to the top, it's like a shortcut into like the sewers or the slums or like the alley. Like this is gonna be something like that. Like think like hella graffiti and, you know, all kinds of random shit. And then this is gonna kind of be like a guard tower, almost. See, this is the most like multiplayer shooter of the bunch for sure. This is like almost completely a traditional like multiplayer map, and this probably is the rawest of the bunch. This needs the most iteration, I think. Cause I'm not like super clear what the objective is, but the intent for this area is kind of the opposite of the sunken zone. This is gonna be like high ground. It's like all elevation and like multi-level kind of stuff. And you know something? It's like I was really inspired by a very popular and famous FPS multiplayer map. And I wonder like how apparent that is, as it looks like super fucking obvious to me running through it. But yeah, basically the idea here is gonna be take the high ground. Take the high ground, hold the high ground. Do cool shit on the high ground. Don't give the high ground up. Yeah, I'm thinking like, I don't know, like, I don't know, I have some ideas. For enemies, like, specifically, because it's all, like, game dev is, like, wild, because
My pussies.
like, one thing leads to another thing leads to another thing. You know what I mean? So, like, for a while, it's like, we need compelling enemies with what we have. And, like, okay, so we have halfway decent enemies for that now, but, like, now we have, like, more stuff, and we have, like, more terrain, and we need to support like different gameplay styles, and so like there's new enemy types that would work really well in a zone like this that I'm kind of excited to get like going. Oh no! Anyway, I actually think that's it. Thank you for rocking with me. You're still here. It was a little, yeah, I don't want to say like meandering, because not exactly, but I was thinking of the kind of like next set of stuff, and I almost started talking about it, and I gotta cut the video off, man. Gotta cut the video off, because that's not good for anybody. I think that, yeah, scope might have just increased. I'm just kidding. Anyway, thanks for rocking. I'm not sure when this is gonna be done. I'm thinking the version that is going to be kind of like available for public consumption is going to be version 20, version .1 or 2, version .20. And kind of what is needed to go in that is a little bit in flux. We'll see how much I get done. But yeah, I really hope if the game looks like good or exciting, or there's something you'd like to play, like please follow, please wishlist,
like, subscribe, you know, do my taxes, you know, just get my contacts list, like.
We also have a Discord that I'll link somewhere. But yeah, I'm like really needing to get people in the game, and it would be like super helpful if this looks like at all interesting. To just get some feedback and like just get some impressions, like, and even like just how much you're playing the game is like feedback. I've kind of like haven't really looked at super specific things yet, because one of the metrics is like just wanting to get to the point where people are like playing the game because they want to, versus like me getting on their ass or like begging them to play. I don't think it's like there necessarily, and obviously it's like not my call when it gets there or what that looks like. But I think it's like getting like close-ish. So if you were one such person that thinks this looks like interesting, I could really use your help and your insight. And I mean, just like thank you for watching, if nothing else. But yeah, hit me up, I'll let you play.
Bye.
Wait a second, I'm gonna let this. I'm gonna show you guys the go back to hub. So if you die, you just like run it back, pussy. Or, oh yeah, sorry, that is the run it back, pussy button. Run it back, you can go back to the hub. Here we are. And eventually you're gonna be like, oh damn, that was tough. Let me see if I can get like stronger real quick. Yeah, 4,000 souls. I'm goated. I can go back. And this train's gonna animate. It's gonna be fucking great. Oh my god, I'll just load it in again. Whoa. Die. Alright, thanks for watching, bye.